Hi, Sarah Pacaro with Rewrite Your Life, helping people heal with rapid transformational therapy from past experience. And I specialize in working with people who've been in toxic and unhealthy relationships. And I get asked a lot about how to co-parent with a narcissist. Well, it's not a fun way to parent, let me tell you that, but parenting. If you think about the word co means together, like cooperate. If you cooperate, you do something together with someone. I recently read a statistic that there are over 40 million people co-parenting with narcissists. Okay, because co means together, co-parenting is almost impossible, but there are some tips and tricks that will help you. These people don't anything. They are only out for themselves because they're narcissists, and that's what they do. They live for themselves. They use others to get what they want. So anything that you were trying to do together with them is going to fail. So they have no sense of value. They have no sense of inner self, and they spend all of their time getting their feelings validated from things outside of themselves. So you've heard the term narcissistic supply. So supply can actually be anything that inflates their ego. So it can be other people, it can be the toys that they have, the job that they have, a certain position or level that they're at, anything that inflates their ego in any particular area of their life. So this is like the flying monkeys that you've heard of. I used to be one of them because in the relationship with the past narcissist, was someone who constantly stuck up for him. So if you're out of the relationship now, you have a child together, and you're looking for ways to co-parent with them, know that it's not going to be easy because you are part of their narcissistic supply, and they use their supply to constantly get what they want, and they get a rise out of their supply because they're looking for this validation outside of them to fill this really deep void that's within them. In that, they're going to constantly push your buttons, they're going to constantly trigger you, devalue you, talk crap about you, do anything to get you to react and respond in a way that puts them in an upper level position and you down here. And this is difficult because if you have children with them, they are going to use your children against you. They're going to use your children because they know that is the one thing that you love most in the world and would do anything for are your children. So you better believe that those children are going to get wrapped up in this nasty, nasty mess in their mind. They're going to use their children. Their children are their supply, and they're going to use the children to get to you because they know that's the one thing you care for. So this is actually a perfect place for them to get supply from, as sickening as that is, because they know that they can do anything with the children and immediately get an emotional reaction from you. So it's a very, very sick way of them getting supply, and they need this supply like humans need air to breathe and live. So if they just don't feel like they exist without this supply, you'll see that they get it from all these other places and spaces, but their children, your children, is the number one. It's your number one Achilles heel with them. So with that said, how do you co-parent with a narcissist? Well, there's a couple things you need to know. And the first one is you need to know and realize they will never change. They are who they are. They're going to do horrible things to you to get that rise out of you. They're going to do horrible things that involve their children to get that rise out of you. And you can't go to them and say, oh my gosh, look at what you're doing to the kids. Do you see what you're doing? They don't care. You saying that or trying to get them to see is a waste of your time. It's a waste of your breath. It's a waste of your energy to them. Those words, don't you see what you're doing to the kids? Go in this vacuum, like this black hole. And it doesn't matter. You cannot get them to see. You cannot get them to reason. They are going to do the things that they're going to do. And it's up to you to not be surprised. You can't be surprised that a narcissist is a narcissist and does narcissistic things. That's who they are. That's probably what led to you not being with them after you had kids. So don't bother. They do what they do. Instead of saying, oh my God, I can't believe that you just did that, or I can't believe they did that, if you're talking to someone else about it, tell yourself, yeah, Absolutely, I can believe they did that. They're a narcissist. That's what narcissists do. So, number one is realize that they are not going to change. Understanding and accepting that a narcissist is a narcissist, they will never change, is like, I mean, it's like if you have your child and they're throwing a tantrum and you're expecting them to not throw a tantrum when they're not getting something that they really want. That's like expecting the narcissist to change and to be different just because of the kids. It ain't gonna happen. So you have to understand and accept this first and foremost. And then the second thing is you have to have a parenting plan, but not a generalized parenting plan, a very, very, very specific parenting plan. That's the difference. People who just, didn't work out and they get a divorce and they both love and care for the kids, they can probably get by with a generalized parenting plan because they can cooperate. They can co-parent. With a narcissist, you cannot cooperate with them. They won't allow it. They're always having to win. So in this parenting plan with a narcissist, it needs and must be extremely specific. So people run into huge mistakes when they have cracks in it, and it leaves you up for open to going to court again down the road. You need to get very specific. Have a plan that's solid, no leaks or cracks in it. Have vivid details in there about where to pick up, where to drop off, specific times, specific locations. Parallel parenting is a phenomenal method of parenting. That's where you have as little interaction as possible with the other person. So for example, on Monday, one person drops them off Monday morning, the other person picks them up from school Monday afternoon. So you don't even have to see that other parent. And then remember details around holidays. Narcissists love to ruin holidays and special occasions. So in this parenting plan, you need to get very specific about what to do around those holidays. Like say, for example, the kids go on holiday break for 2 weeks. It needs to say in there, parent one gets the child from this day and time on the holiday break to this day and time and will be returned at this location at this time. It has to be so specific and detailed. Otherwise, they're going to say, oh, it didn't say, and you're just leaving yourself open for massive headaches and possibly having to go back to court and spending more time or money in court. Number 3. This is with any toxic person. Have super, super strict boundaries. This is on you to maintain those boundaries, and chances are this narcissist has walked all over your boundaries in the past and has left you feeling deflated, defeated. So super, super strict boundaries with them. Limit the way that you communicate with each other. Only use a form of communication that is time-stamped or court-approved. For example, only email. Only use a court-appointed co-parenting app. Things that are time-stamped and easy to use in court and with litigation if anything has to go to trial again. Do not text message. Do not use social media. Those can be cut and pasted, cropped. They can be manipulated and are not as clear-cut in court. So with your boundaries establishing, we only communicate via email or a court-ordered parenting app. So that's the next one. And then that goes into number 4, using this to document your documents. Document. I cannot say that enough. Keep notes on every little thing. The thing is, hi Penny, the thing is that sometimes there's these little patterns, like maybe they dropped off late or they always have their new supply drop off. You need to document those little things because they may seem seemingly insignificant and small at that time, but over time the court is going to look for patterns. So when you have documentation of these patterns over time, that will end up going in your favor if or when you have to go back to court. So document everything. If they show up impaired, if they show up late, if they bring someone else with them or someone else drops your kid off. I've had that happen before. Complete stranger dropped my daughter off at my parents' house like 2 hours past the time that she was supposed to be returned. You better believe I documented that. Yes, all those little things add up. So even if it's seemingly insignificant, you're so frustrated and annoyed and you're like, what, that doesn't matter. It only happened this one time. No, document it because the courts will see the patterns. And then the 5th thing, keep your emotions in check. I know how hard this is because that is what they do. It is the air they breathe. You are their supply and they have to get this rise from you, and the rise is triggering you, and getting you to be so pissed off that you just react in rage, so they can say, oh my god, look at you, you're crazy. So they get this upper hand. So keeping your emotions in check is number one. This goes into us possibly working together, because these emotions that they trigger are all within you and are all part of that trauma bond, and they go back. There's a deep root cause of these emotions that is actually much deeper and was established way before this narcissist ever came into your life. But they are out there to get you riled up, to get under your skin. It is what they live for. They love watching you explode like a volcano going off. And they're going to be sending you messages like, you're such a deadbeat mom, you're such a POS mom, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to just go after your character and completely berate you. But they want you to reply back, so that they can have it documented, so that they can use in court someday. So keeping your emotions in check makes you, provides evidence that you are the stable parent and they're the unstable one. So don't hit reply, don't respond, just say, okay, very factual. Like if they're like, oh, you're a piece of shit mom, blah, blah, blah. It just, I'll see you at 3 o'clock on Sunday, or whenever your drop off and pickup time is. Don't respond with emotion, only respond with very facts. Keep it very, very minimal. So hopefully those tips help you. Don't overshare. I mean, don't just stick to the facts when you're communicating with them. Leave all emotion out of it. If you have to question, should I send this? Then go back and delete anything that has emotion and just send the facts to them. Remember, first and foremost, narcissists will never change. The only way that you can improve the situation is to improve yourself, and that's from healing within. That's from going back to the root cause of these triggers and why it is so easy for them to get under your skin in the first place. That's really where healing begins. So if that's where you are, I hope that these co-parenting tips help, and if you're ready and looking for a way to heal from within so that you can more easily co-parent, I use that term really lightly, with a narcissist, then please reach out. You can schedule a call by clicking on the banner. In the meantime, please stick to this. If you're still texting, please do me and do you a favor. Go in and block their number right now and send them a message and email. This is the only way that we're going to communicate from this point forward. Keep your emotions in check, work on healing yourself, and document. If you don't have a solid parenting plan already, please work with a lawyer to get one that is solid, foolproof, doesn't have any cracks or leaks in it, because you know they're going to find those and use that. What was that about the documenting to show a pattern for court? Just document everything, like any little thing that's off. If they showed up late, if they showed up at a different location, if they tried to get you to like change the drop off or pickup time, if someone else dropped them off, if they constantly have someone else with them, document everything that is outside of the parenting plan, because you may have to use that in court later. So thank you guys. I hope that helps, and I'll connect with you soon.